The movie begins with Loak, who is sitting underwater near the Tree of Souls. With the help of the Tree of Souls, Loak connects with the soul of his deceased brother. The two brothers start playing together, but suddenly Loak realizes that he is not in the real world. Instead, he is playing with his dead brother in another realm. Loak tells his brother that it was his fault. He says that while trying to save Spider, he failed to save him and asks for forgiveness. Hearing this, his brother tells Loak that he should not be sad. Saving Spider was the right thing to do. He explains that they can always meet and talk through the Tree of Souls, but Spider is a human if he had died. Loak would never have been able to see or talk to him again. At this point, we learn that in the world of Avatar, everything is deeply connected. When a Na'vi dies, they become part of Pandora's soil and water, and they never truly leave their loved ones. In the next scene, we see Jake, the leader of his clan. He dives deep into the ocean and recovers guns and explosives from a destroyed human ship. Jake knows that the enemies will attack again, and the weapons his people have are not advanced enough to fight them. So, he gathers as many weapons as possible and returns to the clan. However, the clan members become angry at him. They believe that human weapons can only bring destruction to the Na'vi. Neytiri then explains to the clan that these weapons can also be used to protect their people and prepare them for war. Using these explosives, Neytiri creates new and powerful arrows. On the other side, we see the colonel at the human base planning a new strategy. He wants to explore parts of Pandora that humans have never visited before, especially the regions where the Fire Na'vi live. The colonel believes that by befriending the Fire Na'vi, he can eliminate Jake and his entire clan and take control of the land. Meanwhile, the colonel's team tries to locate Spider using satellites. They believe Spider, being human, can help them capture Jake. However, Spider wants to protect the Na'vi people, not betray them. Jake is also feeling a strange fear these days. Spider's oxygen supply is running low, and Spider fears that if he dies, he will not become a part of Pandora like the Na'vi, and his soul will not live on there. At this moment, Air Na'vi arrive in massive floating balloons. These Air Na'vi travel across Pandora in their balloons and trade food and supplies with different clans. When they meet Jake, he makes a deal with them and asks them to take Spider along. Jake believes that if Spider stays in the air, his chances of survival will increase. Although Spider is not happy with this decision, he has no choice. Carrying his remaining oxygen mask, he leaves with the Air Na'vi. On the other hand, we see that the humans are still monitoring everyone using satellites. They discover that Spider is currently with the Air Clan, and when the colonel sees Spider, his son, he becomes extremely happy. Before the humans can take any action, terrifying flying monsters suddenly attack the Air Clan from the sky. These attackers are actually the Fire Na'vi, a clan that never forms friendships with any other Na'vi. They have always remained enemies to everyone. The leader of the Fire Clan, Varang, arrives and immediately begins attacking the Air Clan. As soon as Jake and Neytiri learn about this, they rush in to help the Air Clan. Armed with guns, they start shooting at the Fire Clan warriors. Jake's other children focus on saving the Air Clan people, and a massive battle breaks out in the sky. During the fight, Jake tries to shoot a Fire Na'vi, but his bullet accidentally hits one of the Air Clan's balloons, causing it to explode. Before being burned alive, Jake jumps down to safety. Because the balloon explodes, everyone is forced to land on the ground. However, all of Spider's oxygen masks are left inside the destroyed balloon. Realizing this, they decide they must retrieve Spider's mask as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the Fire Na'vi begin looting and killing other Na'vi. To protect the Air Clan, Jake's family starts firing again and kills many Fire Clan warriors, forcing them to retreat. When Varang sees her fallen warriors, she is shocked. There are no arrow wounds on their bodies, yet they are dead. Upon examining them closely, she finds bullets inside their bodies. She becomes deeply impressed by these weapons and decides that she wants guns like these for herself. From that moment on, she starts chasing the Water Na'vi. It is shown that Jake returns to the battlefield once again in search of his children. However, his children are nowhere to be found. Suddenly, someone attacks Jake from behind. It is the human leader, Colonel Quaritch. He has come alone to take his son, Spider. Seeing the destruction around them, the colonel questions Jake about what happened. Jake tells him that the Fire Na'vi are responsible. Jake then says that he needs the colonel's help. Spider's oxygen mask has been lost somewhere nearby, and if they do not get it to him soon, the colonel will lose his son. At this moment, the colonel agrees to help Jake. Meanwhile, we see Spider, whose condition has become extremely critical because the oxygen in his mask has completely run out. Loak tries to lift him and take him away, but it does not help. Suddenly, Kiri, Loak's sister, begins to experience strange visions. She tells Loak to place Spider down. Kiri then connects her hair to the Tree of Souls, and a voice begins speaking to her mind. Following the guidance she receives, she gives Spider a special seed. As a result, Spider's body begins to transform into an avatar-like body, allowing him to breathe naturally in Pandora without an oxygen mask. Everyone is completely shocked to see this miracle. When asked how she did it, Kiri explains that Mother Ewa guided her. At this moment, everyone is overwhelmed with happiness and embraces one another. But their joy is short-lived because the Fire Na'vi suddenly return and launch a fiery attack on them once again. Varang is shocked when she sees Spider breathing freely in Pandora's environment. At that moment, Kiri says that all of this happened because of Mother Ewa. Hearing this, Varang becomes furious and threatens Kiri, saying, "Will your Mother Ewa come to save him then?" She says this only to humiliate and dominate the Water Na'vi. Before Varang can harm Spider, Jake arrives along with the Colonel. Jake and his people immediately begin fighting the Fire Na'vi, while the Colonel sneaks up from behind and grabs Varang. Varang tries to take control of the Colonel's mind, but the Colonel is mentally very strong. He breaks free from her control, and this greatly impresses Varang. While talking to the Colonel, Varang starts asking him how guns work and how to use them. The Colonel teaches her how to fire a gun, and soon, Varang learns it. After this, Varang and her clan begin celebrating. In reality, she has won. She has captured many Water Na'vi as prisoners. Meanwhile, we see Neytiri, who is badly injured, and her people are trying to rescue her. The captured Water Na'vi observe that Varang is a very strange leader. She constantly gives her people special using her powers, making them intoxicated and forcing them to worship her. Seeing all this, the Water Na'vi realize this is the perfect opportunity to escape. Kiri connects her hair to the Tree of Souls, linking herself to all the plants around them. Through this connection, she commands the plants to attack the Fire Na'vi. Sharp plant spikes shoot out like arrows, piercing the Fire Na'vi warriors and severely injuring them. As the Fire Na'vi writhe in pain, all the Na'vi manage to escape safely. On the other side, the Colonel approaches Jake's family and demands that Jake return his son. Jake replies that he cannot do that because Spider himself does not want to return to the human world. He explains that Spider can now breathe in Pandora's environment, and he does not even know how it happened. It is simply one of Pandora's miracles. The Colonel is relieved and happy that his son is at least alive and breathing properly. Soon after, Neytiri returns to her family after receiving treatment, and everyone who came with her is overjoyed to see Spider breathing without a mask. Later, the Colonel returns to the human base. He wants to kill Jake's entire family and also bring Spider back to the base. However, the scientists he is working with are only interested in Spider. They want to experiment on him to understand how he can breathe without a mask. Meanwhile, Jake takes Spider to a scientist who stayed behind on Pandora with them. Jake asks whether Spider can return to his normal human form. After scanning Spider, the scientist explains that Mother Ewa has modified Spider's body with avatar-like biological features, and if his body is changed again, it could kill him. We also see that Spider now has a neural braid, just like the Na'vi, which they used to connect with Pandora. Kiri is deeply confused and shocked by everything she has been able to do. However, there is still no clear sign or explanation from Mother Ewa about why Kiri has these powers. She becomes extremely disturbed, and finally, her own people decide to tell her the truth. The girl is told that her mother was actually a human and had been shot. To save her, her soul was transferred into an avatar body. However, she was never able to fully become an avatar. For reasons unknown, the sudden change of body caused her to become pregnant, and that is how Kiri was born. Because of this, everyone began to believe that Kiri was a gift from Mother Ewa, which is why she possesses extraordinary powers. Hearing this brings Kiri some peace, but at the same time, she becomes deeply sad after realizing that she has no father. At that moment, Jake comes to her and comforts her, saying, "Never be sad. I am your father, and I always will be." As night falls, the leaders of the Sea Clans arrive at Jake's tribe. They come to apologize because, unknowingly, they caused many problems by attacking enemy ships and increasing the number of enemies. Jake then makes a difficult decision. The sea creature who is Luok's friend must stay away from their tribe for some time. Hearing this, Luok becomes angry, but Jake harshly tells him that because of him and that creature, the tribe is constantly facing danger. These words completely break Luok from the inside. The scene then shifts to the Colonel, whose mind is still obsessed with one goal: destroying Jake's clan and capturing Spider. He knows he cannot defeat Jake's people alone, so he approaches the Fire Na'vi and makes a deal with Varang. They agree to fight Jake's clan together for their own benefit. It is revealed that Varang hates the water Na'vi because she once asked Mother Awa for help, but Awa never answered her. After that, Varang turned to the fire god, who helped her and made her powerful. From then on, she believed that fire is supreme. With the power she now possesses, she feels capable of killing anyone with ease. They decide that after destroying Jake's clan, they will rule Pandora together. For the war, the Colonel provides Varang with high-tech robots and advanced weapons, while Varang offers her massive army. On the other side, Spider is playing with his friends when the Colonel suddenly appears and grabs him from behind. Varang connects Spider to her control and takes him away. Kiri secretly witnesses everything, hiding nearby. Soon after, the Fire Na'vi arrive with massive human warships to launch a full-scale attack. Seeing the situation turn into a battlefield, Jake becomes worried and announces that he does not want any bloodshed. He offers himself for arrest instead. The Colonel likes this proposal. As he prepares to take Jake away, Jake places one more condition. If they take him, they must not attack his tribe. The Colonel agrees, and they head toward the human base. Jake is taken like a trophy, while humans click photographs of him. Varang also enters the human base with them, but the base commander Danny is clearly unhappy to see her. She questions the Colonel about why Varang has been brought there. The Colonel replies that capturing Spider and Jake was only possible because of Varang. After some time, it is shown that the humans begin conducting experiments on Spider, trying to understand how he is able to breathe on Pandora without any mask. On the other side, we see Loak searching for his friend in the water, hoping to save his world and his people. Suddenly, ferocious underwater predators attack. Fortunately, his friend manages to protect him from those deadly creatures. Loak then sees that his fish friend's brother has also been attacked by humans. He is in unbearable pain, with human weapons still lodged all over his body. We are then shown another human base, where humans are planning to attack the Water Clan. Their goal is to steal the clan's power and make themselves immortal to become beings who can never die. However, among them is a scientist who believes this plan is wrong. He argues that they cannot do this. He explains that the Water Clan is made up of highly connected creatures of Pandora who can unite to fight and even communicate with one another. Destroying them would be a grave mistake. Meanwhile, we see Neytiri, who has reached the outside of the human base to rescue Jake and Spider. At the same time, Spider manages to escape from the experiment room on his own. The guards spot him on CCTV cameras, but are unable to attack him because the scientist has strictly forbidden any harm. Many experiments on Spider are still pending. Soon, we see that Neytiri successfully rescues Jake, and she brings both Jake and Spider back to their clan. Jake then tells Neytiri that she was right. Humans will experiment on Spider and create more beings like him, allowing humans to establish their rule on Pandora. Jake says that there is still time and that Spider must be killed to end the humans' chances of surviving on Pandora. He explains that humans will never stop until they learn how to breathe on Pandora. Once they figure that out, they will kill the Na'vi and settle on the planet. Just as they destroyed Earth, they will destroy Pandora as well. Jake tries to kill Spider, but he cannot bring himself to do it. A father's heart beats in his chest. He raised Spider like his own child. However, the danger is far from over. They know that humans will return to capture Spider again. They also realize they cannot fight the humans alone. Because of this, Jake goes to seek help from the Air Clan, warning them that humans want to invade Pandora and take control of the planet. To save Pandora, they must fight together. The Air Clan agrees to help. Even after gaining the Air Clan's support, Jake still feels they will not be able to defeat the humans. So he decides to ask for help from all the sea creatures of Pandora as well. But the leaders of the sea creatures refuse. They do not want war. At that moment, Loak's fish friend arrives with his badly injured brother, who was attacked by humans. He pleads with the sea leaders, explaining that if they do not stand together and defeat the humans now, the humans will eventually kill them all. Moved by this truth, all the sea creatures of Pandora finally join Jake in the war. In the next scene, we see humans launching a full-scale attack on this world with their aircraft. Their forces advance rapidly through the water toward the avatars and begin attacking them. Above, the Air Clan has already started fighting the humans in the sky. However, because of their advanced weapons, the humans begin to overpower them. Very quickly, the entire environment of Pandora turns chaotic and devastating. Just when everything seems lost, the massive sea creatures arrive and launch a direct assault, sinking the huge human ships one by one. For a moment, it looks like the avatars are about to win the war. But suddenly, the Colonel betrays them and brings the Fire Na'vi into the battle. Now the Fire Na'vi start fighting against both the Air Na'vi and the Water Clan. And because of this betrayal, the situation becomes far worse than before. We then see Kiri, who once again seeks help from Mother Awa. She dives into the water to connect with Awa, and Spider follows her. Underwater, both of them try to communicate with Awa, and for the first time, we finally see a glimpse of Mother Awa herself. Above the water, the people of Pandora are suffering badly during the war. Neytiri notices a pregnant woman who gives birth to a baby girl. Sadly, the mother dies during childbirth. But before dying, she asks Neytiri to take care of her daughter. At that very moment, the Colonel and his entire group spot Neytiri and capture her. To save Neytiri, Spider steps forward and says that they need him. He offers himself in exchange for Neytiri's freedom. During the conversation, Spider cleverly attacks them by surprise. Jake arrives, and a fierce fight breaks out. In the middle of the battle, Spider almost falls into the fire below. Seeing Spider about to die shocks both Jake and the Colonel. Together, they manage to save Spider. Just then, all the avatars surround the Colonel. Neytiri wants to kill him because, despite being an avatar himself, he betrayed his own kind and committed such a massive crime by siding with humans. At this moment, the Colonel realizes his mistake. Before Neytiri can kill him, he chooses to jump into the fire himself, sacrificing his life. After this, we see that Pandora's monsters attack the humans, devouring them. The remaining human soldiers flee from the planet, and in this way, the avatars successfully protect their world. Finally, peace returns to Pandora. The avatars can now live freely and openly on their planet once again. In the post-credit scene, we see Spider connecting with all the avatars through the Tree of Souls, the same tree shown at the beginning of the movie. Through this connection, Spider reunites with his deceased family. Everyone is happy together. This reveals an important truth about Pandora.